read a poem about my city. It's in the news. This is a relief because the only way Oakland usually makes the news is some great museum for the AK-47. But this is my last poem. It's called To a Local Developer. The most powerful, I wrote a piece in the Times, I don't know if you saw it last week. Yeah, thank you. And I was saying it's wrong to blame Mayor Kwan for the problems in Oakland because the police department runs Oakland. And even a progressive like Jerry Brown had to capitulate to the police. And the last mayor, Ron Dellums, they humiliated him. So they so there's a developer named Phil Tagami who runs the town. He's the real mayor. And the head of the police union is sort of like the vice mayor. No pun, right? And so I was trying to give the mayor some room. To an Oakland developer. Oh, to be an Oakland developer, the envy of Crocker, Stanford, and Hopkins. You know, they're all gangsters. They named the university after one of them down there. He was a crook. And the founder of Oakland was a crook. So Oakland begins with a crime wave. There's nothing new. His name was Henry Carpenter, but he changed it to Andre Carpentier or something like that. And he was a lawyer. The Americans won California by using lawyers. Do you know that? I mean, the indigenous people fought them to a standstill. The Californios fought them to a standstill at the Battle of Los Angeles. And the lawyers took it over. And so Henry Carpenter came out here and lured the Peralta family into leasing some of their land. Next thing you know, he had sold the land. The squatters had taken over. And he named himself the first mayor of Oakland. And he got run out of town because of some crooked railroad deals. So the Peralta family sued in court, but by the time they won, we were all there. I'm living on a track called the Santa Fe track. I'm not going to give it back. Tough luck, right? So anyway, if you want to read about the Crocker, Stanford, there's a lot of stuff on there. Mark Hopkins Hotel, yeah. He was a gangster. Okay. Oh, to be an Oakland developer, the envy of Crocker, Stanford, and Hopkins. You can file people into $3,000 per month Kleenex boxes and call them condos. If the Chabot Space and Science Center continues to run a deficit, they'll permit you to convert it into a condo too. Think of the ad. Great view. Politicians who won't give up the time of day show up at your office without even summoning them. They're there to serve you while denying Section 8 and Medicaid to poor people. They lavish you with subsidies. The late Latin word cornucopia comes to mind, but instead of fruit emanating from City Hall's horn of plenty, yachts, Lexuses, shopping malls, and more condos. Who's forth? Thomas Nast. These times really need you. In your day, the robber barons were buzzards, but even they would have bailed out the Oakland Ballet. The 2004 robber barons don't believe in at least making the show, giving some loot back. They are the new welfare kings, who will never be called that in the newspapers that beg for their ads. Their Mayor Brown will never call them lowlifes, which is what he called the residents of the Alice Arts Hotel. I guess I'm regarded as a lowlife. My neighbors too. We don't mesmerize the people downtown like the developers do. Our street looks like the annex to the parking lot of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Or something worse. We got Cobra cans for grass. The rumble of constant bass sound cracks the concrete foundations of our homes. Some call this ugly, belligerent music. The music sets off our car alarms. If the earthquake arrived, how would we know? Last night, the hip-hop boys returned to our garden and destroyed some more plants. In Africa, children don't destroy plants. They identify them. What are they always saying? That we would have been worse off in Africa, where the Lagbara, Agbagba gather their medicine in the rainforest and have no need for wall green chemicals? Am I better off in Africa or in Oakland? In Nigeria, I was mistaken for an ambassador. In Oakland, I'm mistaken for a thief. Even while shopping at the Zittler collection, some blonde asked me to remove my earphones after stalking me like Dick Tracy. In Oakland, the councilman at large won't answer our calls. I guess this is what he means when he says he wants to be known as quiet. Quiet as an extra in 6 Feet Under. And the police answers our pleas with a suburban joke. Why not make a citizen's arrest? Meanwhile, our children are nurtured on Scarface movies, are using each other for target practice, while the developers' children go whale watching at Point Reyes. Thank you very much.